so they cannot see directly in front of them. So you'll see the P-51's S-turn back and forth down the ramp area so the pilot can make sure that there's nothing in front of him. But the P-63 Kingcobra guy, now he's got tricycle landing gear. He's not worried about that. He can see exactly where he's going. That's why they put him out there in front. There's the P-63 Kingcobra leading the way. The big brother of the P-39 Airacobra. Interesting to note that the P-63 was never used by the American Air Forces. We gave them to the Russians, and the Russians use this aircraft to destroy. And his passion is the P-51. He currently owns Swamp Fox. That's the first pass in the P-51D Mustang. This aircraft painted up in the markings of the Tuskegee Airmen who served with distinction as strafing runs right at show center, the P-63 Kingcobra. Followed by the P-51 Mustang. This is what it would have looked like on the continent of Europe in 1945 as American forces were sent ahead of the bombers to tear up Army, make that Luftwaffe bases all across France and into Germany. These are the fighter aircraft. This aircraft, the P-51 Bunny, built by North American in Inglewood, California in 1944. The P-63 Kingcobra, developed by Bell Aircraft during World War II. And Man of War, the P-51D Mustang, built by North American Aircraft Factory in Inglewood, California in 1945. From the left, the P-51D Mustang. In December of 1943, Merlin-powered P-51s first entered combat over Europe, providing high-altitude escort for B-17s and B-24s. They scored heavily over German interceptors, and by war end, the P-51 had destroyed 4,950 enemy aircraft in the air, more than any other fighter in Europe. You can hear that scream as the P-51 comes down on its target. That screaming sound, believe it or not, is out of 1953. After World War II, P-51 served in the air arms of more than 25 nations. The Mustang was a surprisingly durable presence in the jet age, with the final P-51s in military service retired by the Dominican Republic, are you ready for this? In 1984, Berlin, and the first to make all fighter sweeps to hunt down the German Air Force, like you're seeing here right now. Must 50 caliber machine guns and up to 10 rockets or 2 bombs weighing 500 pounds. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful 4-point roll by Man of War here at the 2025 Southern California Air Show. What a beautiful demonstration by these legendary aircraft. Like 80 years ago, these aircraft screaming over enemy positions. The amazing sound and power of the P-51 Mustang, delivering every single time. The aircraft and who was flying it. From the left, the P-51 Mustang. The P-63 Kingcobra. The P-51 Mustang is widely again regarded as the finest all-around fighter of World War II. The E-3 Sentry. Airborne early warning and control aircraft. Developed by Boeing, E-3s are commonly known as AWACS, derived from the Boeing 707 airliner. From Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City, the E-3 Sentry AWACS. There is no other aircraft on Earth that can perform this maneuver. The C-17 is currently demonstrating the ability to back under its own power, which gives it increased maneuverability while offloading cargo and the capability to operate at smaller, unsupported airfields. Scenic rides, 1 or 2 passengers, as well as aerodynamic rides similar to what you're about to see today. Karen, the mom, is a commercial pilot and flew the tow plane for her husband, Brent. Brent has over 24,000 hours and 40 years of flying air shows. Here with us today. Hey, Brent, you got it.
Great. I am proud that my son, Garrett Boyd, Boyd is flying sailplane magic. Garrett is in the red and white Cessna 182 plane. My son Boyd will have been glider today with Air Leader Captain for Cal Fire Amendium fighting wildfires on their 16th birthdays. They both earned their private glider certificate and soloed all of our tow planes, including that Cessna 180 that's towing today. Then on their 18th birthdays, they earned the commercial and certified flight instructor glider wing. And during the summer, Boyd has represented the U.S. in 4 world championships. And as Mike said, skysailing not far to the south in beautiful Warner Springs. We also salute all the members
He's kind of looks like a starling.
assisting us and attending this great show. If you look up into the sky, in front, you'll see Garrett Boyd circling.
In history, Japan was going to be attacked in their own homeland. And it came in April of 1942. 16 B-25s, like the one you're seeing here today, rained terror on Japan. The B-25s, due to the fact that the Japanese ship had spotted the fleet, had to take off sooner than expected. Halogen engines powering the P-38 over the skies of the extremely rare P-51. That's the way she looked when she was first designed, way back in 1941. Tremendously, the P-40 Warhawk. Ladies and gentlemen, this aircraft, of course, made famous by the American Volunteer Group. Anybody know what the American Volunteer Group was called? You'll count. They were known?
Yeah, do you want to, is that good? Or you don't have to be safe? Yeah, I can see perfect. No, my eyes don't hurt. Let me know if it gets closer so I can see. Yeah, well, it gets further. Making some progress. Sorry. It's my
Wow, this was fun. This really has been an honor to fly for you today, and I hope that you realize that you can fly and you can be the pilot you've always dreamed of. Being a pilot really is not that hard. If it were, I'd get a real job. This is Boyd Willett of Sky Sailing Warner Springs, along with my
Extremely rare P-51. That's the way she looked when she was first designed, way back in 1941.
Sean Kent has also deployed the Canadian flag, 450 square feet in size with a 35-pound weight attached to make sure it remains flying true. Our other three jumpers, just below the Canadian flag, are starting to compress their Canadian T.
Oh, they got smoke on that one too.
And now, left of show center, the jumper on the bottom, Corporal Jasmine Jock, has deployed smoke and flipped completely upside down. Imagine what it feels like to be dragged through the air, completely upside down. And now one jumper breaks away, the remaining two left in a down plane towards the ground at over 55 miles an hour. The speed excellently highlighted by the smoke trailing behind them, exploding apart, giving you a great sense of the force our jumpers had to overcome to keep that formation together.
Wow.
And now our jumpers will all make their way towards the drop zone to come in for their landing.
I'm missing a set, but I don't.
Coming right by show center now, giving you a great view of the Canadian flag and that Canadian T on top. One jumper with their legs wrapped around the other. And as they come into land, please give it up for our three-stack drag team. And now landing, please give it up for our Canadian T. And right
Aircraft looks exactly the way it did in 1970 in Vietnam. Great chance to look at the 92 flying in North America. You know, A-37's cruising. Big things come in small packages. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is one of only 4 ex-Vietnamese jets that are flying in the world. We call her 921. Is that not the best smoke system you've seen on any jet aircraft out there? Oh, this is beautiful. Watch the smoke rings form up too. Now the story of how this jet ended up where it is today is pretty incredible. Again, this plane flew in combat. This actual aircraft flew in. Noriega was Panama's narco-dictator, and the U.S. government had enough. When the Air Force's 24th Tactical Air Support Squadron was in Panama, they had 24 A-37s. And when Operation Just Cause kicked off to remove Noriega from power, the drop tanks are normally jettisonable, but the big tip tanks, the big 100-gallon tip tanks you see on the wing, and the communist bad guys. Mark bringing it on back for another strafing run on the minigun. Well, as you can imagine, we were not going to give them much in the way of parts, and hold that right there. Watch Mark in the min-radius turn, a 5G min-radius turn. That's going to be about the tightest min-radius turn you will see all day today. IED in that target. A very, very accurate bomber. In fact, this was the most accurate, believe it or not, the most accurate bomber attack aircraft that we had in Vietnam. Mark's going to lay down some strafe here with the 762 minigun. This aircraft, 2,200 hours of combat time in Vietnam. 1975, folks. Saigon is falling, the South is falling. You'll see how low the aircraft sits. In fact, if it's on asphalt, the exhaust section will melt the asphalt if it sits in one location for more than a few seconds. Then the 20-year restoration began. Charlie pretty much restored this aircraft by himself. Watch the steep 45-degree angle bombing attack run on March does, just like you would in Vietnam. Now you're seeing the aircraft configured much like it would look in Vietnam. We have 4 fuel tanks on there. Those can be converted to 250, 500, or 750-pound bombs. You can carry effective due to the heavy foliage in Vietnam. It wasn't really used very much. Take a look as Mark drops some bombs off into the infield. A-37 Dragonfly. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing, Marine Aircraft Group 11, and BMFAT 502 take great pleasure in presenting the F-35B Lightning II, the world's first short takeoff, vertical landing, or ST. The combination of its stealth features, the Lightning's active waist down with a masterpiece, waist down with a aircraft is currently flown by the United States Marine Corps, the United States Navy, and the United States Air Force. Now the minimum radius turn. The Lightning's low observability stealth allows it to safely enter areas without being seen by radar that legacy fighters cannot evade. Out of the turn, the pilot will put a straight into the vertical and perform a high alpha loop. F-35B Lightning II executing the slow speed, high angle of attack pass.